So here it is. All right, we are going to open this up and we are going to put in the packs. Of course, the 36 pack is going to be going to charity. This box is also spoken for, whoever was asking. This is an unopened, unlimited box. It's the OG, it's the real deal. And we're gonna open some packs. Wow, it's fresh, but I guess this one will go to charity, right? Hey Fab Fam, here I am working on my most recent card project. Yenji had suggested that, as well as some of the Patreons had suggested, like the day in the life, TCG day in the life videos were pretty good, and they had encouraged me to share. For those of you that know what this is, obviously this is a not small lot of a pretty good set that I personally like very much. Magic the Gathering Unlimited came out in late 1993. I think November or December of late 93, right before Arabian Nights. And I'm just very fortunate to have accumulated a pretty solid amount of it in the past 3 years. This is just the, I guess you could call it the chaff. I've already got the random uncommons and the rares separated and sorted because that was quick. That's the first thing. This is probably the last little bit of, well, at least from these two long boxes of, the leftovers from the collections. There's no Power 9, there's no dual lands, there's no Chaos Orbs or Time Vaults or anything like that in here. Just cards, just random cards. And I was just thinking while I was sorting, because I did these, I handled this probably in the past 2 days, not 2 full days, but work nights after work, after doing emails and making the tough decisions, just to wind down and decompress. So I just have this very little bit left over that I'm wrapping up right now, and this set was pretty amazing. It was a reproduction of Beta, and it's 7 cards off from limited edition Alpha. And I think you can draw a parallel between this set right now and Flesh and Blood. I know people hate, and people are entitled, and people whine, especially Magic people. You can't compare Flesh and Blood to Magic! How dare you! I just did. Be outraged. And I can draw an apt and appropriate comparison because there's a correlation. I looked at the commons and, common cards, for example, like Stone Rain, Fireball, Disintegrate, Earthbinds in the 20s, even after the spike and then the drop. Should be some bolts in here. Bolt is close to $40 near mint. And that's after the catastrophic, that's a lot of bolts, catastrophic Magic 30 drop. And that's pretty in line with the non-foil Majestics of Welcome to Wraith Alpha. I also want to say that the print run for this set, the global print run, was somewhere between 30 and 32 million cards for Unlimited. And I just, well, not recently, it's been a while now, but summer of 2021, I had done a box break of a sealed Magic the Gathering Unlimited box, and that netted, I believe, $320,000, putting each individual pack in the 7.5 to 9,000 range. I think we packed it out at 8.5 per pack. My memory fails me, but that was, a pretty awesome event. Got to get rid of these, but yeah, I'm not gonna. Just some random top loaders with some single cards that I'll get out. What else? I've got sleeved sets of the remaining commons. Full sets? I'm not sure. But just really, really cool. You see even like a little giant growth, an iconic +3/+3 instant, kind of like a razor reflex or what, stroke of foresight, something like that. The +3 instant, the mini buff card, even the lands, even the basics. That's like, this is similar to the tokens in alpha starting to be worth $1 or $2, or things like crack bauble being iconic. The most basic fundamental building blocks, at least of Magic the Gathering, are now, now that the game has stood the test of time, are now valuable. Same thing as refraction bolters or snapdragon scalers, the equipment in non-foil and alpha. Things like sinkhole, $20-30, dark ritual, $20-30. Same thing. These to me, in value, because they're non-foil, they're very common, are very similar to Welcome to Wraith Alpha. And I bring that up because the rest of the episode, we're going to open up this box, and there should be some good stuff. I do need to clear all this up and get this out of the way. I'll deal with it later, because now that I've broken down the rares, then the uncommons, then now I've got the commons, I've got to sort all the commons, and I got to understand how many of each set I have. I actually need to find a common set, because a common set of Unlimited happened to be the linchpin of a roughly $45,000 Magic for Fab deal, cross TCG deal, and you got to put in the work. I probably need to fly to the West Coast in a week or two to close this deal, and the deal doesn't get closed unless I fulfill the very last part of this deal. I think it's a common set of Unlimited. I already finished the Arabian and the Antiquities. The Dark is ready. Yeah, Unlimited, and then Legends. I'm waiting on some TCG player singles to flesh out my set of Legends that I have to deliver. But yeah, that's about Unlimited. I also wanted to bring up some things in the comments. It's really funny how people are in 2023. Like, I talk about my $6 Puma shorts that I got at clearance at an outlet, and I'm not ashamed of it. Like, people are like, oh, you probably lost too much money in Flesh and Blood, you have to save money and buy shorts. No, these are like 10-year-old shorts. They're comfortable. They're $6, and they retailed for like $40, and I'm happy to have gotten, an 85% off deal on them. And then there was a recent Rudy video where he released our New Year's Eve filming, and like a handful of people on Rudy's comments some were jealous, some were surprised. They were talking about my wedding band. They're like, oh, you're wearing your wife's wedding band. No, that's because you have no knowledge of jewelry or fine things, the finer things in life. This is actually a man's wedding band, and indeed it is expensive. It's probably priced higher than some people's homes, because if you understand jewelry and you understand some of the finer things, some of the high-end things, you understand that there's a grading scale in jewelry. Literally every one of these gems in here are graded by GIA. They're not like black labels. They're internally flawless, and they've got certain characteristics: no translucence, 60-degree cut, round cut, identical carat weight across all 6 assets. So they're basically like BGS 10 basics, every single gem, with insurance, with grading, handled by a 6th generation Jewish jeweler, master jeweler in the Diamond District, right down the block in Midtown Manhattan. Also hand forged in platinum, which is difficult to work with. And that's not to boast. This was brought up, and people were ridiculing me. Oh, you're wearing a woman's ring. Again, no. If you knew anything about being wealthy, or, had the same contacts as NBA players or other high net worth individuals, you'd know about the jewelry world. And this was a commitment between myself and, the woman that I decided I'd marry, because this is a commitment that I hold very dear to me. So I made what was a pretty sizable investment at that time. The people that are commenting in Rudy's videos are probably poor and or are both not married, either or both. And you guys are jealous. You guys are salty. Again, the reason why I make videos like this and to draw it back is because I want to show you guys the difference. Just like I have respect for cardboard and cardboard life, just like I had respect for Modern Horizons 1, I can respect Alpha, Beta, and Unlimited. I can separate the assets. I'm not an entitled person. I have similar appreciation for $6 shorts that I bought on discount a decade or a dozen years ago, just like I have respect for the finer things in life. And I can handle both. And I'm detached from both. I don't let myself get run by the price tags. Oh no, he's got a stack of $40 commons. Or, oh, why are you working with single penny and 5-cent cards? You're wasting your time. Ha 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 ha. I like the culture. I like the hobby. I'm detached from the day-to-day thoughts of pricing. I'm just going through it. At the end of this whole exercise, I'll probably find some graded cards. I'll probably break this down to sets. I'll facilitate a mid-5-figure deal that I talked about. And I'll have fun in the process. And I'll also detox from being a mean, big, bad CEO, at my day job. And this is just calming, this is comforting. And this is something that I suggest anybody with a passion should engage in. If you're in it for money, you're gonna fail, because there's gonna be so many other people that know so much about this card game and other card games. There's gonna be so much more people that are putting the time, are understanding card condition, card quality, population reports, that you just can't compete. So I welcome you guys to come join me and do an analysis, or join me for an analysis of Alpha Welcome to Wraith, and we can talk about it. So see you guys on the episode. Back from a very alarming day of work, and I said I'd be opening this and going through a WTR alpha lot, but sometimes life has a way of throwing you a curveball, and well, let me just put it this way. I did with full intention of finishing my Zoom meetings, playing around with my cardboard, going to my afternoon meetings at work, and coming back. I had the full intention of coming back and opening this WTR collection, but I got ambushed with an abrupt phone call this afternoon, and I currently don't know if I probably am not going to be touching cardboard for the rest of the day. How do I say this? On the call was the CEO of a very prominent financial institution that I collaborate with. He is a gentleman that I regard with great respect. I see him as a mentor, and he had guided me for the past decade. In all seriousness, a decade ago, when I performed my first life-changing transaction, I flew in to one of these big, schmoozy, whatever, big boy conferences, finance conferences, and he was a speaker at that conference. And after I heard him speak, I went up to him, hat in hand, full humility, and I forgot what exactly I asked him. I was just like, hey, I really like what you said. It was really engaging. Can you teach me a thing or two about how to get from where I am at the time in 2014 to where you are? And the gentleman actually, he said yes. He agreed, and he took a 3-hour lunch with me, and days later, and he was like, well, here's how you got to do it. Here's how to look at finance. There's concepts like vertical integration, where it's not just about managing money or client acquisition. It's about bundling money management with software SaaS, software as a service, with, you know, multiple layers of this vertical integration, creating, and, you know, I know they're all buzz terms and BS now, but this was a decade ago. He was like, omni-channel solutions by, you know, integrating this and creating different levels of stickiness. And I was like, well, sir, wow, can you slow down a minute? Let me get my notebook out. And I mean, this gentleman, within a 3-hour lunch, had altered the trajectory of my career and my life. And on this phone call this afternoon, I knew of the people that might have attended the call, but I had never met these individuals. It was like, hi Saint, we'd like to introduce you to the new chief operating officer of this financial organization who you've been collaborating with for the past, you know, X duration. And he'll be taking over the duties of your mentor and da 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 da. And I mean, I'm not trying to be long-winded. This is just raw and recent, very recent. It was like, it felt like the my mentor, somebody I looked up to, somebody that thousands of people would literally fly, you know, book flights to pay thousands of dollars to watch, talk for a few hours and network with. They summarily executed him right there. This gentleman, my mentor, was now, because is no longer the case, was the founder CEO of this very powerful, very prominent organization. And something must have gone wrong. And within a couple of seconds, this extremely high net worth individual, I mean, gentleman's just well off. 16,000 square foot mansion, multiple rooms, dozens of acres on his plot. I mean, that's just where he lives, amongst many other successful, huge transactions that have made, you know, global publications. And the important part is that within that span of a second, his life had changed. And I don't know what it was. I mean, my spider sense tingled. It was like that Metal Gear Solid sound where it's like, oh crap, what is happening here? I had felt that executioner's axe was still in the room. It was fresh and primed. And this is one of those life-changing moments that 27 years of industry experience had led me to glean that at that second, it was do or die. There was $50-60 billion of wealth in that boardroom, and I needed to react. And it was like, okay, pledge loyalty, kiss the ring, understand and nod your head and make sure that the status quo will be maintained, contracts will be upheld, growth, get into good soldier mode. Like, if anything, I didn't get prepped for the call. It was an ambush. I thought this was like, oh, January, hey, attaboy, buddy, pat on the back. There you go. Here's your fat check for 2023. ABCXYZ. Keep it up. You know, go get him, Tiger. And it was something that was completely out of left field. I thought about just coming back and just talking with the camera on. Maybe your NG will be like, this is not appropriate for the channel. I don't know. But I felt I had to get it out because I reviewed that little segment that I made earlier, and there are people popping off and self-selecting basically as inconsequential. There are so many levels in life. So many levels. There's levels to TCGs, there's levels to business, levels to politics, levels to capitalism, levels to, again, this game that we call life. There's so many levels. These days, there's so many young bucks just popping off and self-selecting. And they're basically being like, hey guys, I'm inconsequential. Let me pop off in some YouTube comments. You know, just mouthing off for what? For what? At best, the best thing you can do is just, you know, go into the YouTube app, click, shadow ban you. You'll never be anything. That was the most meaningful act you could have done. You forced me into a click. Meanwhile, individuals exist in this world where you can be a millionaire, you can be a centimillionaire, dare I say, you can be a billionaire, and you can get X'd out if you piss off the wrong people. So don't just go mouthing off for no reason, you know? I always believe in staying humble, and even today, I'm thankful for my mentor. I don't want to call him a former mentor, but he's been my mentor. I hope he still has a lot to teach me. He changed the trajectory of my life with that 3-hour talk. And it wasn't only 3 hours. I mean, we've been in touch. We do, up until today, we've done business together, meaningful business together. But even that gentleman, who is presumably worth in the multiples of 9 figures, that was it. You know, in a couple of snaps, everything changed. And if I had said the wrong thing, or if I had popped off at this key moment, my entire career could have changed. But thankfully I was ready. I'm self-aware, and I will do what needs to be done. I'm not going to piss off, you know, people of that power level. I know better, you know. And I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying that I'm gonna do anything. I don't have the interest to go after anybody in the YouTube comments. Too damn insignificant. I've got too much shit to do. But here we are in a society where everybody wants to get outraged. Everybody wants to get about Flesh and Blood or Magic the Gathering. And meanwhile, they're individuals, single individuals with tens of billions, even hundreds of billions of dollars. I've even heard of, through these high net worth individuals, that they associate with and know of literal trillionaires. You know, call me tinfoil hat, but I am a believer that there are trillionaires that exist on our planet. And the only reason you don't know them, and I don't know them personally yet, is because you're not important enough to know them. There are levels to this game, and sometimes you need to shut the fuck up and use this and use these and learn. And that's how you level up. Because again, I look back to 10 years ago when I was many steps back. I was humble. I had my ears open. I looked up to this guy. I humbly asked him for a bit of his time, and he gave it very generously to me. And through my 2+ years in Flesh and Blood, 5+ years in the action side and the markets side of TCGs, I've been fortunate to take between a dozen and 24 talented and humble individuals under wing and try to benefit them and, you know, their lives, their careers, their financial trajectory. And it makes me happy too, because it's the right thing to do. This individual paid it forward to me, and I see it as my duty to do the same in my career, which won't get deep into. It's some sensitive information there, but you know, that's my day job. Even when I take that executive hat off, I try to do the same in TCGs. So I guess I just wanted to rant a little bit and just be a normal guy in a normal room. TM Bronson, love you, man. And yeah, we will open this WTR alpha another day, and I will bridge that gap. So to be continued on that. Thanks for tuning in. Again, I don't know if we're going to release this video, but till next time. Bye.